About a year ago I decided to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. This is kind of like, maybe I'll enjoy it. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I read it, kind of breezed through it. It was good, I enjoyed it. And then I kind of forgot about it. A Court of Mist and Fury was coming out. And I was like, maybe I'll read that. I'll give it a go, see what happens. The reason I didn't really love A Court of Thorns and Roses was because the main character seemed to have no agency. I didn't really enjoy, I wasn't really loving the romance. I was kind of like, yeah, it's fine. And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury and everything changed. I cannot believe that I love this book so much. Like, I can't. It's kind of ridiculous. After I bought it and after I finished Trials of Apollo, and that was really good, and then I was like, I'll just pick this one up. I spent a whole weekend reading a 600-page book instead of revising. It's because I couldn't put it down. It was so good. It was so good. Honestly, I don't really want to do a non-spoilery section because, I don't know, just read the first one and then read this one. Because if you were iffy from the first one, definitely try this one. Because this one, I think, is leagues better than the first one. And I don't doubt that all the things I didn't really like about Court of Thorns and Roses was deliberate by Sarah J Maas, but it does make the book less, it's not as good. It's just not as good. But she pulls it in this one. This book is so good. It's like if you're playing rounders and then the first time you hit it, it's just everyone's a bit like meh because you didn't really hit it very far. And then the second go, everyone's a bit cocky because you didn't really do very well that first time. Then you like just smack it and you get it all the way across the field and there are no fielders there because everyone didn't expect you to do very well. This is this series! I cannot explain how much I love it, this book. Having said that, there are a few little things I want to talk about that I didn't like as much, but like overall it was so good. Getting into it now, only stay if you read it. Please don't stay if you haven't, because then I want to ruin it for you. But also still read it if you just stay, because it's still really good. When we started I was a bit like, okay, we're back with Tamlin. I'd kind of forgotten what happened in Court of Thorns and Roses, but I couldn't reread it because I lent it to my friend. So I was like, meh, I'll probably pick it up again. And so when she's in the spring court, I don't really enjoy the spring court as much because it just seems like her and Tamlin and Lucian, and I like Lucian. When we start and Tamlin doesn't wake up when she gets out of bed and she's really ill and she's just not well in general, like mentally or physically, and he doesn't wake up and Feyre doesn't mind this, and I just remember thinking, am I being irrational to think that, you know, he should wake up and look after her, or at least she should wake him up and be like, can you look after me? I feel really, really terrible in general. And then I reread about like the first third of the book and I was like, actually, I was entirely right to be upset that he never woke up. I mean, you can't really help it if you wake up or if you don't wake up, but also you get the feeling like if you did wake him up he would be like, it's fine, don't worry about it. But clearly Feyre is just so, like, broken after her experience under the mountain. And I kind of forgotten about that bit, I don't know why. It's just when they kept talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, she like, killed 3 fairies. So she keeps having dreams about that, and I felt like a lot of people felt that aspect of where she didn't kill Tamlin was kind of binding, like she definitely loved him forever. But it's not. She loved him at the time, and that's good enough. And I was really pleased when I realised this, because I never really liked Tamlin that much, like he was fine. But then we kind of got let's call him Rice, even though his name is Reese, but Rye. And Rye comes in, and then he's so much more interesting. And I can't really remember if what he does in ACOTAR is kind of dodgy, because I couldn't reread it. So I remember thinking that it was dodgy, like, but also kind of dodgy in the sense like, I'm doing the best I can for you. I'm doing the best I can for you, but in a really bad way and with a lot of weird consent thing going on. I'm not really sure. So I can't really comment on that. I wish I could, because I wanted to have a really good kind of analysis of Reese from the book to book. But since we can't do that, I was so pleased when Reese turned up at their wedding. I was like, yes! Thank God for this, because I was not prepared to watch her get married to Tamlin, because all of the things he was just so not like, wasn't being good to her at the time. She was so upset, and then she's like, this wedding is being forced on her, even though she's clearly not like ready for it. Even if she wanted to marry Tamlin, she's not in the mental state of just being able to cope with like such big decisions. Like, surely you could wait a while. Like, you just like broke this curse after like so many people were trapped under a mountain for 50 years and she killed people and stuff. Can't you just like give it a year or something so that she can like, you know, get better? But literally when he turned up, he was like, hello Feyre darling. I was like, I love you. I do. I love you so much. I'm so happy you're here. This is so good because, and then when he was explaining how he could hear her and he knew that she was so upset, and it kind of felt like she was having a panic attack, like, because of all, like, you know, the blood red petals and stuff. I always knew something dodgy about Ianthe, and I was like, are we going to have like an Alice Cullen type friend? Or am I meant to go along with, do I really like her? I'm like, she's alright, meh. But then it's fine, because she's evil and terrible, and she's not Feyre's friend. Oh, once we're in the night court, and I'm enjoying the night court and I enjoy spending time. Rhys is a bit ridiculous, right? Making her write those ridiculous sentences. And I like when she meets Moore. Moore doesn't really push herself onto her. She's like, she waits for an invitation. And that's really sweet. Because she doesn't know, nobody should be crowding around Feyre. She's had like a traumatic experience. She needs to have time by herself, but also in the company of people who aren't expecting too much from her. Tamlin locked her in his house. He locked her in his house! Like, I get it, like, she shouldn't go if it's dangerous, but like, no. Do not lock her in your house, because she's not an animal. She is a person. She's like this really upset person at the moment as well. Like, how dare you do that, you evil person? Because the whole time when I'm reading this, and the way he gets so angry with her, and angry about the fact that Rhys is taking her for like a week, and he doesn't even do anything to her, and she says that he doesn't, but he's like, he doesn't even treat her as a real person. We see that later when he just blatantly rejects her letter where she says, I went willingly, this is fine, I don't want to see you anymore. And he just ignores her like she's not a person who's capable of it, making her own decisions. And anyway, going back to where we were before. Once he looks in her house and she like swathes herself in darkness and then Moore goes in to get her and stuff. I love the juxtaposition of when she's in Tamlin's house, it's all entirely locked up and she can't get out. When we get to the night court is so open and vast. I'm pretty sure they're on a mountain or something when they first opened that scene, and I thought that was such a good metaphor for Tamlin and Rhysand, because Rhysand appreciates that Feyre is a person and that she needs to be treated as such, whereas Tamlin is just so controlling and just smushes her, like the whole way through that first third where she's still with Tamlin. He's just entirely strangling her. She's not allowed to be better. Like, I know that if I don't talk to people for a few days, like in the holidays or something, I go a bit weird and I need to talk to people to remind that I'm a real person, and then like, and that stuff is happening in the world, you know? You need that to be able to say, okay, I feel better now because I've talked to people whose experience hasn't happened inside this house. Yeah, anyway, moving on. I'll just skip a bit because I've already talked for like 10 minutes. Right, Ianthe. When we found out about Ianthe and what she does, oh, I knew it! I knew it! I was so pleased because I was like, I hated her. I thought maybe I'm gonna have to like her because she's gonna be Feyre's only friend and maybe she's gonna grow on me. But then she didn't have to and it was great. And then the whole thing where like Feyre realises Lucian must be in that position because Tamlin rules this kind of court with such authority and there's no kind of sway. There's just none. Like the tithe when he's like, no, you will bring me your tithe. I don't care if you can't because you need to because that's the law. And then he says it like it's a good thing to Feyre, like that's the way my father did it, that's the way I'm doing it, and that's the way our son will do it. And she's like, oh, okay, right, children. I imagine you want me to have children soon too? Okay, cool. Yeah, the way he rules with such authority really irritated me, and I thought the way Feyre gave her jewels was not in this kind of, oh, I'm such a good person thing. She's just like, I am fed up in so many different ways. I am fed up with this man making me do whatever, and I don't even care, I don't even need these, they're not special because she doesn't even wear jewellery more than once because she has so much of it, because Tamlin is always just trying to present her with gifts and keep her safe, and nobody is safe in a house where they're not allowed to do as they wish. I mean, obviously to a certain extent, but no one is safe if you're just keeping them in a room and just not letting them experience the world, you know? I hate Tamlin. I hate him. I hate him. Anyway, Cassian and Azriel, really like them. Really like Cassian's banter and a bit thing with Feyre when Rhys is like, yeah, I can tell Cassian you're open to his advances, and she's like, good. And then they're having that kind of beef about it, but obviously it's not real because Cassian's just kind of casual. They all know at this point, obviously, that Rhys and Feyre have their mating bond, but I love their whole interaction. I love the way she gets taken into into the inner circle. I really like Azriel. I thought he was just so calm and interesting and nice. I really want to spend more time with him because he seems like he has so many things to say and things to offer people, because he just kind of watches, but he's also a spy master, which is terrifying because it makes so much sense. Like in every scene he's described as just being like, he's there, but he's also got like 1,001 things going on in his mind, but he's not a huge presence, and I just really like that. Oh, I loved it after the mating bond has been like consummated, shall we say, and they're all teasing Rhys because, oh my god, that scene where they're literally just teasing Rhys about the mating bond, it was too much for me. I loved it. Because they come back in and it's like, Feyre doesn't look too tired, maybe she can give me a ride, and Rhys just says nothing, and then they say it again, and then Rhys and Cassian fight for like an hour or something, and they're just, oh, I love them. It was so cute and fun. Oh, I love them. Oh, Maur and Amren. Really like Maur. We've already talked about her. Amren is everything I kind of want to be. Like, she's really cool. Nobody knows what she is. She's kind of like Feyre. Like, she's 5,000 years old. People are terrified of her. But then she's still like friends with everyone. Like, they're just buddies. They're just pals. But also she could kill everyone, and isn't that, I'm pretty sure, oh, is it Maur who Rhys will send in once Cassian and everyone else is dead? Who's that like? It's either Maur and Amren, but either way, I'm down. Like, that's cool. I love them both. Oh, that was so good. I've written some notes about Tamlin. They're all just like, you can literally leave. I hate him. I can't believe he did that. Oh my god, when Tamlin turned up at the end. I said to you, go home, Tamlin. She doesn't want you. She's told you she doesn't want you, and you've blatantly just given away a kingdom to an evil king for someone who doesn't want you. What? Oh my god, Tamlin, just go home and get over it. That's pretty much more my feelings about Tamlin. But Rysand, oh my god. I've already discussed how I'm not really sure what happened in ACOTAR. I can't really remember. I can't really judge on his like moral standing or if he's problematic, because I feel like some of the stuff he did in ACOTAR was kind of problematic, but I can't remember, so I can't be sure. I kept forgetting that he's the most powerful High Lord there is, because he's just such a bean. I just love him. He's so nice and gentle, but also really fun and really flirty, and just, oh, because you know that if Tamlin were the most powerful High Lord, it would be so obvious. But Rhys is just like, I've got several cities, I'm pretty casual. The one thing that I always found a bit strange was when they go to Hewn City to basically just like shout at everyone there and make sure that they remember he's really scary. I felt like it was just kind of like an excuse for the sexual tension between Rhys and Feyre to elevate, which I don't really mind. It just kind of, when it happened, I was like, well, this is clearly not really much for plot. So I don't think they really need to go to Hewn City other than to do that. Oh, the thing with the Weaver! The thing with it, why is everyone called the Bone Carver or the Weaver? Why does their name have to have a verb in it? That's kind of terrifying. I enjoyed the bits with the Weaver and also the Bone Carver, but mostly the Weaver. I don't know, it kind of captures that fairy tale element of like something living in the woods that's kind of scary and everyone just leaves. I liked the fact that it was meant to be like a challenge for his future wife or something. I didn't mind it. I thought it's a bit weird to test your possible love and, well, I mean, obviously he knows they're mated and stuff, but like, yeah, just kind of a bit weird. Oh, it was so good that he kept the mating bond a secret so that, you know, Feyre could fall in love with him, like, organically and naturally, because obviously he could have turned on and been like, we're mated, and then she would have had like a whole thing where like, ah, blah, blah, but how could we be, but I love Tamlin, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love the organic way their relationship like went, because they flirt with each other for like 400 pages, and when they go to the summer court and then Feyre is flirting with, what's his face, it's like Tarquin or something, but I think so, something like that, and they're flirting with him and then they get the jewels. It's kind of so awkward that she was like, oh, I could fall in love with you, but I really need to steal this really important book from you. So, where Ryson was flirting with someone in the summer court, and then they're both kind of like, but you shouldn't, but there's no reason for them to be like angry at each other for flirting each other, other than the fact they both kind of secretly know they like each other. But that's really nice, I like that. Yeah, I was so pleased when Feyre decided to block out Rhys when she was fighting, I think it's the ACOTAR, and she's like the saviour of the rainbow and stuff. That sounds so weird. But anyway, I like the fact that she was like, no, I've got stuff to do, I don't have time to be checking in with people because I need to do this. Like, I can't be like available to people, or even though he just wanted to know that she was alright and she just needed to get it done. I appreciated that because in any way she would never have got to do anything that cool or, you know, important or powerful if she was still in the spring court. Oh, when they go to the spring court and they're like jumping between places to go to the Illyrian camps, I think, and they feel like she feels the ward around the spring court, and it just seems like the most hostile place full of people that nobody loves. Like, it's just an unloved place. When Lucien turns up at the Illyrian camps after the ACOTAR, is it after the ACOTAR attacks? And he's like, take me home and come home with us. And Feyre's like, no, and I like you, Lucien, but you didn't fight hard enough for me. Like, you just went with what he wanted, because I think everyone still kind of enjoys Lucien. Like, he wasn't the worst and he didn't do terrible things. He was uncomfortable so many times when Tamlin was saying she has to stay inside, she has to stay there. And I get that he's kind of trapped because he, like, needs to be good for his High Lord, but also he should have tried harder. And Faye was right, he should have tried harder to be like, you're being ridiculous, let her outside. And I felt so bad for Lucien when he has to go back and be with Ianthe and just, ugh, I'm so excited about the end. Oh my god, when you think the mating bond's gone, you're like, oh, no! And she's like hugging Tamlin on the border of the spring court, and she looks over her shoulder and she sees Lucien being like, I know what you've done because I know the mating bond isn't gone. I know that you have a mating bond, I know what's going on, but he can't do anything about it because he's mated with her sister. That was like the weirdest end scene though, when they were all just kind of like matchmaking in the process of like trying to defeat this evil king. Oh my god, the process of making new fairies. That's grim and I don't know what that means, but I just love that last scene where she looks over herself really sleepily and she's like, you can't say anything, I can't say anything, this is fine. And it's going to be so much spying and cool stuff happening soon. Yeah. Right, so my card just cut out, but conveniently where I was about to finish. So, once again, this book is so good, and obviously if you've read it, then you might not feel the same way, but I feel really good about it, and I think a lot of people who were really iffy about the first one really like the second one. Yay! I feel so happy now. Oh, I feel like I've got all of my thoughts out and I can just lay down, and all the thoughts around this book can just be out there in the world. They don't have to live in my head alone now. I really want to watch more reviews because I feel like all the people who've read it were like at events and BookCon and stuff, so they haven't reviewed it yet, and I need other people to share my thoughts and, you know, the feelings, you know? Whew. Yeah, so thank you for watching, hope you have a nice day, see you later.